What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show, and today Washington comes out of the Giants game in a tie 20-20 in a game where all I gotta say is thank God for the bye. There were a lot of things to like in this game, but there was also a lot of things to not like in this game. One, Taylor Heinicke had to throw 41 times. We know that is not a good recipe, but he did not have an interception this game. Did not cost us the game. There were some plays that was left out there, but this offensive line wasn't helping him. We went down. Samuel Cosmi went down. Tyler Larson went down. Wes Schweitzer did his best job that he could. Nick Martin, I don't know what's going on with him, but this game to me, it felt like the Giants were tougher than Washington. There was a point in the game where I was sitting down and I sat up there and said, Ron can make a statement right here. And that was where Terry had basically forced himself to get all that yardage that we didn't get. And it was 4th and 1. And Ron sat up there and didn't go for it. I felt that Ron could have made a massive statement right there. Because you could have ran Brian Robinson up the middle or to the side of something, because to me you had an opportunity to show the Giants that this is not a normal game. You want to be tough, we're going to play tough right along with you. But to me, it came off more as not trying to lose the game than more than trying to win the game. The Giants wasn't doing anything fancy that would make you say, oh my God, this offense is insane. Or, oh my God, this defense is insane. They weren't doing much of anything that couldn't be beaten. And the fact that Washington didn't do it, it shocked me. But again, they tied the game. Even in the overtime with the game on the line, it just seemed like there was an attempt to go for the tie or accept the tie instead of going out there and actually winning the game. Because there was one point where, they had Brian Robinson run 2 times straight, where it's like, you see all these guys up on the line, like what? And the line isn't blocking that well. Why are you trying to run the ball? Like right here at the time where we need yardage to get our guy Joey Slye in the field goal range, why are you trying to run the ball? Like, and not only that, it's not like these receivers can't beat one-on-one. Now, like I told y'all before, and I'll say it again, this is why you don't tell Taylor to throw it to a particular receiver, because to me, it seemed like he was told to look for Jahan Dotson, and sure enough, there were times where he was throwing it to Jahan Dotson, and it seemed forced, and the plays didn't turn out right. Then when you get that fluent play to Jahan Dotson, it comes in for a touchdown. So, like I said again, I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm a little disappointed because Washington could have really made a real statement against the Giants. Like, they could have really showed people that we're not the team to mess with. And unlike some other people, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I do want us to make the playoffs, and I do want us to go up against Minnesota. That's my feeling. And because I feel we owe them one. But again, this is where I come back to the fact that at the end of the day, Washington needs to know to step on people's necks. Stop being the nice guys. Stop being that, because it doesn't win us anything. All it does is just everybody says, oh, Ron Rivera's a great coach and stuff like that. And that to me is just a waste of time. And not only that, it seems like, in all honesty, this is why I told y'all I don't want to sit up there and give credit to Scott Turner, because I knew he would, and somehow, some way, I knew the situational awareness thing that he has somehow crops up each and every time. This was really a coach's loss, because even with the defensive side, Jack waited too long to make an adjustment. You know, because Christian Holmes was getting his butt torn up. And then he finally make the adjustment. He takes Christian Holmes out, put in Danny Johnson, and the team plays a lot differently. And that's why sometimes you need to just say, hey, you know what? Today is not your day. We getting you out of here right now. And go from there. Another thing, I do feel that the Giants did play tougher than us. I do feel that the Giants actually played a lot tougher than we did. Because there were times where you saw the Giants defensive line push our offensive lineman on the ground after the play was over. And our offensive line didn't take no offense to that. Like, that was shocking to me. You know, there were times where it was just like, it just seems like they were acting tougher than us. And that makes no sense. It made no sense. Daniel Jones doing all that running and stuff like that. I will say this for y'all, because it needs to be said. It's something about when a black quarterback scrambles and a white quarterback scrambles. For some reason, when these white quarterbacks scramble, everybody somehow fears hitting them like they're running backs. Blow their asses up. When you sit up there and you see that this quarterback is running out of the backfield, especially when he tucks that ball, tear him to shreds. Because again, he's making the judgment call to say, I'm now a running back. I mean, there were times where I saw Cam Curl going at the feet and the legs of Daniel Jones instead of blowing him up like he was Saquon Barkley coming through that hole. Blow Daniel Jones up. Make him rethink running that ball. Because again, that is their biggest threat. I mean, we basically stopped Saquon Barkley well enough, but then when Daniel Jones ran, all of a sudden we acted like we didn't even want to tackle him. No, he makes the judgment call to sit up there and run that ball, tuck the ball and run it. Blow him up like you would Saquon Barkley. Blow him up like you would any other black quarterback, because we see black quarterbacks getting torn up all the time. And these white quarterbacks just, la, 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 let me hold the ball up here. Let me hold it all out here. And like, no. Crush them. Let Daniel Jones think it's a game. Let him think it's a game. This is not acceptable when it comes to being tough, especially when you're trying to make the playoffs. We're actually coming up against some tougher teams coming down the stretch. I mean, we will be seeing the 49ers. That is not a team to play soft against. But I will say this. Hopefully they repair it on the bye, because we desperately need to get our mojo back. Because that right there, that showed me right there that another team can actually play tougher than us. Not only that, if offensive linemen are being pushed to the ground and there isn't a thought in their mind to make sure that doesn't happen again, come on now. Trent Williams would have never let that happen. Morgan Moses would have never let that happen. Eric Flowers would have never let that happen. Brandon Sheriff would have never let that happen. Chase Roullier would have never let that happen. This offensive line needs to toughen up and stop acting like they don't want to sit up here and play. I commend the Giants because, again, I mean, they came out and they act like they were actually going to be tough and they were not going to let Washington do whatever they wanted to do. But that is family business. That's divisional business. That's family business. All that type of stuff. That's exactly what it is. But again, I felt that we weren't playing as tough as we should have. And again, this goes back to what I said about shortening the routes. You know, again, why did we not see the slant routes more often? Not only that, you don't think that these wide receivers that we have can't beat that secondary? That secondary isn't all that good. I mean, you talking about Fabian Monroe? You telling me that, you honestly telling me that somehow, some way, we can't shorten these routes because again, we have the wide receivers that are good yak guys. And all y'all do is just give them a short pass and they gone. We saw that. We saw that twice. 2 touchdowns today. One to Terry McLaurin, one to Jahan Dotson. We saw that. A big play by Curtis Samuel. We saw that. 2 big plays by Curtis Samuel. We saw that. But again, at least it's a tie. It's not great. It's not good. Because there are things that we need to make sure that we stay in the playoffs. And at this point right now, we got to win out. We can't play around. The bye is here. Thank God the bye is here. I'm happy that the bye is here. We don't have to worry about all this other stuff. You know, we don't have to worry about guys being injured and stuff because a lot of those guys are going to come back. St. Juice will probably be back by then. Hopefully Montez Sweat can come back by then because, again, he's going to more than likely be in a concussion protocol. But, again, he has 2 weeks to get over it. So, yeah, about 2 weeks to get over it. So that's a good thing. We got to see what's going on with Samuel Cosme, who seems to be injured all the time now. I mean, man, he's just injured all the time. Like, I mean, he goes out of the game often, and I just don't understand. But again, I go back to what I said before. I'm more disappointed than mad because this is a game we could have won. Again, another game we could have won. In fact, we could have won it in overtime if Scott Turner would have sat up there and just threw a little short little joint. Because again, it's not like these cornerbacks are superstar cornerbacks and like we don't have the wide receivers to beat them. We got that type of stuff. Like I said, Ron kind of didn't show them the aggression that Washington should have. He should have went for it on 4th and 1. After all that work that Terry did to get all that yardage, and we was only there, and it was only 4th and 1, Ron should have went for it. He should have said, we're going to show you guys we're not playing around. Hands up, but I mean, again, I got to say it, my hat's off to the Giants. Wink Martindale did a fantastic job of calling up plays and stuff like that. I mean, man, he just didn't play. And the offensive line, man, they were missing stuff. I mean, you talking about the game was almost ended on a safety. If Taylor was just a couple inches in the end zone, we're talking about that would have been a safety, man. And we would have lost this game. The Giants, hey, they gotta face Philadelphia next week. So at least we get to sit at home, rest up, relax, get our heart medicine and stuff together so we can go on these last 4 games and see what we can do in these last 4 games because we actually need all of them. We actually need all of them. Y'all tell me what y'all think. How did y'all feel about this game? Again, it was a 20-20 tie, but it doesn't feel like they actually went out there and like they really wanted to win the game. It felt like they just wanted to go for the tie and not really win the game. But y'all tell me what y'all think. Again, Taylor Heineke, no interceptions. Maybe that's the problem. He didn't throw an interception, so then we ain't go back down there and score. Because again, you gotta think about it. For every game he played, he threw an interception. But guess what? We won all those games except for the Minnesota game. But y'all tell me what y'all think. Other than that, this has been your man John Fortune, and this has been We're on the bye. Remember, we're on the bye. This has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.